Mordecai learned of Haman's wicked plan to destroy the Jews, and his heart was filled with grief for his people. He put on sackcloth and ashes, crying out for mercy at the king's gate. When Queen Esther heard of Mordecai's sorrow, her heart grew troubled. Esther sent clothes for Mordecai, but he would not accept them. Instead, he sent word to Esther about the king's decree of death. Esther trembled, for entering the king's court uninvited could mean death. She told Mordecai she had not been called by the king for 30 days. Mordecai urged her, "Perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this." Esther's heart wrestled, but courage began to rise within her. She said, "Gather the people to fast and pray for 3 days." All the Jews in the city prayed and fasted with one heart. Esther too bowed before God, seeking his strength and favor. On the 3rd day, Esther dressed in royal robes and went to the king's court. She stood quietly, waiting for the king's judgment, but the king extended his golden scepter to her in grace. Esther touched the scepter and bowed before the king. This signifies that she is welcome to see the king. The king asked, "What is your request, Queen Esther? Even if it's half of my kingdom, you can have it." She invited the king and Haman to a banquet she had prepared. At the feast, Esther welcomed them with grace and patience. The king asked again, "What is your request, Esther?" But Esther waited, choosing the right moment to speak her heart privately with the king. She asked them to return for a second banquet the next day. Haman left the banquet proud, boasting of his favor with the king and queen. But when he saw Mordecai refuse to bow, his joy turned to fury. At home, he raged to his wife and friends about Mordecai's defiance. They advised him to build a gallows and hang Mordecai upon it. So Haman ordered a gallows built, preparing Mordecai's death. That night the king could not sleep, and his heart was restless. He ordered the book of records to be read before him. The record revealed that Mordecai had once saved the king's life. The king asked, "What honor has been given to Mordecai for this?" They answered, "Nothing has been done for him." Early the next day, Haman came to speak with the king. The king asked him, "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Haman thought of himself and proudly described great honor. He said, "Let him wear royal robes and ride the king's horse. Place the crown on his head and parade him through the city." He believed the king surely meant to honor him. But the king commanded, "Do this at once for Mordecai the Jew." So Haman was forced to honor Mordecai before the whole city. At the second banquet, the king again asked Esther her request. Esther lifted her voice, trembling, yet filled with courage. She said, "Spare my life and the lives of my people, for we have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and wiped out." The king asked in anger, "Who is he, and where is this man?" Esther declared, "The adversary is Haman, this vile enemy." The king rose in anger, storming out into the palace garden, walking in fury, pacing in the garden to calm himself. But Haman stayed inside, begging Queen Esther for his life. The king returned and saw Haman falling at Esther's feet, begging her. The king cried, "Will he even assault the queen in my house?" At the king's command, the guards rushed to arrest Haman. The king ordered Haman to be executed upon the gallows. So Haman was hanged upon the very gallows he built for Mordecai. The king gave Haman's estate to Queen Esther that very day. The king appointed Mordecai to take Haman's place. Joy and gladness filled the city as the people celebrated. Through Esther's courage, her people were saved from destruction. The Jews rejoiced with feasting, gladness, and a spirit of victory. God used Esther's bravery and Mordecai's wisdom to protect his people.